Hello, YouTube family. Hello. By the grace of God, it's another year, 2021. You might be wondering, why didn't I start this on the first? First, after watch nights and all that, you get tired. But the essence of starting it now is a very reason of this video to help you understand why beginnings are important and why we should take them, you know, slow and steady instead of rushing to, make decisions and all of that. Um, it's always great to have a beginning because it's something unique to created things. Remember, God Himself does not have a beginning because God lives in eternity. Time only started when God decided to make things. So anything God created, because it has a beginning, because there was a time when it was not there before he made it. So then that introduced beginning into things. So beginning is only um, something that is in the consciousness of created beings, like all created things, like all the things God Himself created. So God Himself has no beginning because God is not living within time. He lives outside the realm of time. Okay, so we're going to talk about beginning, and we're going to talk about five important things to note about beginning, especially since we are beginning 2021, so that whatever you are saying, whatever resolutions you are making, you understand why you need to do them. You understand why you need to be serious about them, actually. Um, the very number one reason why beginnings are important, why Genesis, so that word for beginning, is important, is because a beginning always signifies an end. In other words, there's a beginning because something has ended. Now, those of you who are familiar with the Holy Scriptures, when you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it says that in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In other words, there was a time when there was no heaven and earth. There was a time when what was happening in the beginning was not there. So the beginning is only a consequence after some action has been taken, and that action has been taken to end a particular situation that was there before the beginning. So anytime you talk about a beginning, you're talking about something haven't happened before. The beginning of your relationship, the beginning of your education, the beginning of your sickness, the beginning of a certain interaction, the beginning of certain travel. Anytime you talk about a beginning, you are consciously stating that there used to be a time when that beginning, that thing did not exist. In other words, that time when it didn't exist has come to an end, and the time that the situation you're talking about exists has not come into being, making it the beginning of that situation. Why is that important? It's important because since you had an end where that thing did not exist, it means you can compare when it was and when it was not. It means you can know what it has brought into existence. You can evaluate it and you can know the benefits that that situation has brought into your life. And it is extremely important because maybe today you are beginning a life without your father. Maybe you are beginning a life without your mother. You're beginning a life without your fiance. You're beginning a life without your husband, maybe because of death. That beginning has come about because those relationships you had come to an end, and you have evaluated what led to it coming to an end, and you are now walking to a situation where those things don't exist any longer. The pain of the loss, the pain of the separation, the pain of the abuse of the past may follow you to your beginning if you are not conscious about it. In other words, if you thought that you have been hurt, if you thought your heart had been broken, and if you don't take care of it, you take the pain into your beginning. You're beginning without the benefit of those things that broke your heart, and still carry the pain without them too. So you have a two situation where you neither have the man in your life nor have the benefits he provided, but still carry the pain that he left you with. That is why you must be conscious of it. That if you are now in a situation where you no longer have something, it is time for you to have it as your beginning without it, instead of carrying it with you without its presence in your life. And it is very important when something ends, let us end it, because there are people who have repeatedly lost the beginnings of new things because of their past thing, which is supposed to have ended. And such a thing has brought bitterness, has brought diseases, has brought mental illness, and all that kind of thing. When something ends and a new thing begins, let's focus on what has begun. Whilst learning lessons from what was. So that's the first thing. The beginning is always a sign that something has ended. And the second thing about a beginning, so 2021 has begun because 2020 has ended. Without 2020 ending, there will not be a 2021. The lessons of 2020, we have to learn them. Its past, its desires and everything, we need to learn from them. But then we need to forge a new path, 2021, without focusing, without focusing our energies on what has ended in 2020. Thank you for agree with me on that. Then the second thing, I'm taking this thing one after the other because they're very important, especially to the youth. The second thing that we must set our mind on when it comes to a beginning is that the beginnings set the rules for the rest of what comes afterwards. Immediately, Adam and Eve were placed in the garden. They were told what they could and could not do. God did not waste time on that. You could eat every fruit in this garden except the one there in the midst of the garden. And it was clear. And we have even three proverbs which allude to this situation of beginnings. He says that if a game will be lively, it starts right from the beginning. And God bless you if you are the partners. It doesn't take a while. Please, you are in something and you don't seem to see your way ahead. You have started a school, you are at a certain workplace, you're in a relationship, and you don't seem to see your way ahead of it. The relationship has begun without any clarity, without any certainty, without anything assuring you of how it's going to pan out over time. Please, when something starts, it starts with all that it entails showing. Anytime such a situation is not there, deception is at play. Somebody is hiding something, and that thing will grow to bite you. Whatever you see in the beginning of anything, it only gets worse or gets better with time. But you will see it from the beginning. From the beginning, Adam knew the rules. From the beginning, Eve knew the rules. From the beginning, they knew the advantages and disadvantages. They knew what they could have and what they could not have. Don't get involved in anything where from the beginning things are hidden from you. You keep discovering that there are certain things you should have known that you didn't know. That is a recipe for deception, and you will be hurt. By the time you end in that situation, you find yourself in a worse situation than you were before you started that new situation, that new job, that new relationship. You know. So please, if you're in the beginning of anything, relationship, whatever, you will know what is up. The person will be sincere to you and let you know what is up. If you keep discovering things that were hidden, it's a clear sign to you that you have not had a beginning. You have been deceived. You've been swindled into something that you didn't know really, truly what it was about. Immediately undo it and begin right. Undo it and begin right. Do not give anybody the excuse to hide things from you when he or she is beginning anything with you. Such a person does not have your heart. Such a person does not obviously love you. And such a person must be made to stop it immediately. Otherwise, over time, that person will not only be your enemy, that person will cause you to lose a lot of your time and lots of your things in life. So, secondly, whenever there's a beginning, the ground rules are set right from the beginning. You don't, it's like somebody doing canoe paddling negotiation in the midst of the river. That such a person has put you at a disadvantage. No. Now we have the third third thing about beginnings. As you are beginning 2021, beginnings are usually after an evaluation. That's what I'm saying. Because in every time there's a beginning, it means that there has been an end. And beginnings are usually after an evaluation. Bible said that the spirit of the Lord was brooding upon the face of the deep. Let me Genesis chapter 1. So as the spirit of the Lord brooded upon the face of the deep, for who knows how many eons of years that was, the Lord saw what was needed on this faceless, formless earth. And then he said, this place needed light. Because he has evaluated what was lacking in the formless, earth that he was brooding over. So he began to introduce into it what was needed. Let there be light. Let the firmament gather. Let the firmament below separate. Let there be day and night. You know, the beginning that you are having right now, that new relationship, that new thing you say you're going to do, how much of it has come out of the lessons of the past? How much of it has come out of the lessons of 2020? How much of it have you drawn from the past? Or you are starting another thing without any foundation of evaluation of your past life? Because whatever you think has gone in the past is habit, is tendencies are still within you. And until you consciously learn to undo them, you're going to repeat the mistakes of the past. And it happens all the time. If you have a new beginning, what did you learn from the past life, from the one that ended? What did you learn from it? If you have a new relationship, what did you learn from the relationship that just passed? If you have a new career, if you have a new job, what did you learn from the job that you lost, or from the job that you were sacked from, or from the job that was destroyed, or that fell apart? What did you learn from it? If you have no lessons from the past, you need to repeat the mistakes of the past until you have learned those lessons. Now, so the third thing we are saying us is that evaluations always beginnings always come after evaluation has been done, about what has of what has ended. So how have you evaluated 2020, and how is it actually helping you in this beginning of 2021? If you have not done that, you are on a shaky wobbly leg. And in all the principles of life, you go back. You keep going back. You keep going back. And that's exactly what happened to Adam and Eve. Once they did not learn the lesson, you see, after Adam and Eve fell in the garden, they did not obey the lesson God taught them. That of all the things God will give you, there's something God will always say, leave that one for me, just to test obedience, just to test loyalty and the rest. They did not learn that lesson after they went and took the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So after even God's warning and everything, scolding, they were still trying to get back to take the tree of life too. So the Bible said God had to set up cherubs with flaming swords just to prevent them. In fact, they were so bent on actually taking these other fruit that would have made them living dead people, would have made them completely immortal sinners, that to violate the very punishment God has given them, that they will die, they shall surely die. They wanted to go and take something else which does not belong to them, that would have made them live forever. And that always happens with somebody who decides never to learn from the past. Please, the strength of life is not that you've forgotten what happened in the past. The strength of life is that you learn from the past. If you don't learn from the past, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. You will not have a pleasant life. Your life will not end well. And you will bring a lot of people into misery and down with you. Life is full of lessons. Please learn them. Number four, there is a beginning again. Um, and this beginning is 2021. What does it tell us? You know, wherever um, there is a beginning, it tells us that there have been many beginnings before. Okay, there's never a one beginning. You mean God has had a beginning where He made the year, but since then He has had a beginning where it was only Noah and his family. He's had a beginning where he had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. There have been several beginnings. There's several things that have to intervene. God's intervention in the life of Adam and Eve after their sin has happened several, and after which Abraham will evolve. Abraham will be a man after his heart, and then the people subsequently will go into sin again, and then eventually Moses will evolve. God he told Moses, allow me to destroy these people so that I can start another genealogy using you. And Moses said, no, please. This constant beginning of killing them, people destroying son and starting with people. It appears that, you know, a better solution should be found. But a better solution had already been found, where the Bible says that, and the virgin shall be with a child. God decided to do it from first principles. He said to go back to the beginning. So the only effective cure to the constant chaos and the constant senselessness that man gets involved in is the original solution of a virgin conceiving and that child coming to die on behalf of humanity. There has been no other solution that has been effective. And that is why Christianity is proud to say that there is no other way to go to heaven but through Jesus Christ. And that's the Bible clearly says in Romans. There's no name given under heaven or under the earth by which a man shall be saved except the name of Jesus Christ. So the anytime you see a beginning in your life, don't think it's a novelty. Before there was 2021, there was 2020. And before there was 2020, there was 2019. There have been several beginnings. If you do not actually remember that there have been several beginnings, you will keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. We'll keep tackling beginnings casually, like we have had all through our life, all through the decades of our life, you know, and still expect that something great is going to come out of it. Life is not, it's not chances. You meet chances in life, but what you become is as a result of what you did with a chance. It's not the chance that makes you anything, it's what you do with a chance that means anything. So if you have a beginning of 2021, don't forget, you had several beginnings before. This is not the first time, please. So just brood over the situation and make conscious decisions to be different this time. So finally, um, YouTube family, I'll be glad if you share this video on your platforms. Let all the people, both old and young, get to know these things and make conscious efforts to excel, to be different. Finally, a fifth one: the beginning shows the beginning. Show your strength in the beginning. In the beginning, show yourself because the beginning will self in itself will test your strength right from the very beginning. The beginning will test your strength right from the very beginning. There is a reason the serpent made sure that the couple were separated before he decided to tackle Eve. And once Eve was tackled, it was just easy for Eve to get Adam, this divide and rules type thing. Please, when you begin anything, don't do this last minute thing that people obviously do, especially in most underdeveloped countries. Put in your best from the start, right from the very beginning. Don't do this winding, trying to build your no. From the start, put in your best. And once those principles are set, once that attitude is set, once that narrative become known, it will continue to the rest. Indeed, I like what Brian Tracy once said. He says, when you go to work, work. When you start a beginning, do what you can do, the best you can do, let it be seen. Don't wait till the end. And these things are similarly in relationship, they are similar in everything. Put in your best foot right from the very beginning so that you can see the output, you can see the result, you can see the appreciation, you can you can see how it will be handled right from the very beginning. So if there are any remedies you can put in place, if you pretend to to do what you're doing, or you pretend from the beginning, your counterpart will pretend to meet you. It's like what they say: the government pretends to pay, and then the workers pretend to work. No, put in your best so that from the beginning you can have the best result. The best kind of situation is that the best thing comes out right from the very beginning. It's not when it's not in the middle, not in the end. Please, this is not a last minute go live. God is as much interested in the process just as he's interested in the outcome. So we've talked about five things that happen in the beginning. The first thing is that a beginning always shows up after an end. The second thing is that beginning set the rules for the rest of whatever it is you're involved in. The third one is that beginnings are usually after an evaluation of an end. The fourth one is beginnings tell you that there have been many beginnings. And then finally, right from the beginning, show your strength. Because as the Bible says that, you don't know which one is going to, verse in 4, verse in 5, or even in 7, you don't know which one is going to you. So these are my take on beginning. And I pray that as we apply these principles in 2021, we'll have a marvelous evaluation to report at the end of 2021, God willing, if you are still here and Jesus has tarried. God bless you. And subscribe, share this, and click on the notification button. God bless you.